In this lesson, we're going to be discussing dotted eighth notes. Every note in music receives a certain number of beats. The lower number in the time signature determines the value of each note. When the lower number of a time signature is 4, the eighth note receives half a beat because the 4 tells us a quarter note receives 1 beat. We can see this demonstrated in this example. 1 and 2 and for the eighth notes. We're now going to take a look at a dotted eighth note, but review first what the function of the dot is. If we take a look at a half note, it receives 2 beats. 1, 2. Then when we add the dot, the rule for the dot is to add half the value. Half of 2 beats is 1 beat. We receive a dotted half note. 1, 2, 3. We then discussed the dotted quarter note. Quarter note receives 1 beat, 1 and. The dot gives us half of that, so it's going to be another 1, but not the and. And when we put it together, the dotted quarter note will now receive 1.5 beats, 1 and 2. We are now going to look at the dotted eighth note. For review, 1/8 note equals 2 16th notes. The way we're going to count this is 1 E for an eighth note, 1 circle, E circle for the 2 16th notes. Knowing this formula, we're now going to count out the eighth note and add the dot to get to the dotted eighth note. 1 E circle, and half of that would be another value. If we continue counting these 16th notes for the second eighth note, we would get then and what we want to receive is the other half value right here, and plug that into our formula. And a dotted eighth note receives 3 16th notes. 1 E and. What usually follows is the remaining 16th note to get this pattern. Dotted eighth note with a 16th note. 1 E and. This is the rhythm pattern that you'd normally see with a dotted eighth note.